Hi, grade 5. Good morning. Just 1 minute and I'll take attendance, guys.
Okay. هاي بس حنان. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Abdurrahman, we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just 1 more minute, guys.
No.
جماعة مش في السيشن أساسا.
I'm here, Omar. What are you saying? Waiting for more of you to join before I take attendance.
Miss, what books we will work on?
We're going to read the story in the textbook today. Okay. Ahmed, sorry, wrong grade. Amr, are you there?
Here.
Okay. Abdurrahman Ahmed. Abdurrahman Amgad. Amgad, are you there? Okay.
Yes. Here.
All right. Tanahi.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Asir. Asir, are you there? Okay. Hamid. Mamdouh. Muhannad.
Here.
Okay. Mustafa. Omar.
Here.
Okay. Uday.
Here.
Suk.
Here.
Salim. Yasin Hisham.
Here.
Yasin Sadat.
Here.
Yasin Adouin.
Here.
Here.
Okay. Yusuf.
Here.
All right. Zain.
Here.
Ziad. Aysel.
Here.
Habiba.
Here.
Hana Halawa. Hana Sultan. Kenzie.
Here.
Malak. Sorry, guys. It's taking me time in between because people are joining the session, so I'm accepting them. Okay, Nurhan. Let's say Malak, Nurhan, Reem, and Sabine. Okay, guys. 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see? Everyone see the screen, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we know that this week we're reading biography. So of course this is going to be the story of someone. It says here planting the trees of Kenya, the story of Wangari Maathai. Okay. We don't know yet who this woman is, what impact she had on Kenya, but we know that of course it has to do with trees. Okay. So here our essential question: what impact do our actions have on our world? We're going to read about how one woman made a difference in her country of Kenya. Can I get a volunteer to read? Okay, I see Habiba. Any other volunteers? All right. So this biography you're going to see sounds like a story, okay? In the way that the author begins as Wangari Maathai tells it when she was growing up on a farm. So it's told like a story. Okay, I'm going to read this, and then on the next page, I'm going to split the paragraphs everyone will read, okay? As Wangari Maathai tells it, when she was growing up on a farm in the hills of central Kenya, the earth was clothed in its dress of green. Fig trees, olive trees, crotons, and flame trees covered the land, and fish filled the pure waters of the streams. So here the author is describing the earth as dressed in in green, okay, as if the earth is wearing a green dress. Okay, Habiba, first paragraph. Yassine Sadet, second paragraph. Go
The
ahead.
fig tree was scarce then, and Wangari
Was sacred
knew
then.
was sacred then, and Wangari knew not to disturb it, not even to carry its fallen branches home for firewood. In the steam near her homestead, where she went to collect water for her mother, she played with twisting frogs' eggs, trying to gather them like beads into necklaces. Though they slipped through her fingers back into the clear water.
Okay, thank you. So here,
Yes.
the author here is making a comparison to cause readers to think about things in new ways, okay? So in the first one, she describes the earth as if it is wearing a green dress. And here, look at the comparison between the frog eggs and the necklace beads. This is a simile, right? She says, she played with glistening frogs' eggs, trying to gather them like beads into necklaces. Okay, like beads into necklaces. So here this can cause us to think differently about frogs' eggs. Frogs' eggs are not something that is considered beautiful, right? But she says that even frogs' eggs have beauty, okay? She thinks that all nature is beautiful. Go ahead, Yassine Sadet. Thank you, Habiba.
Her heart was
Welcome.
filled with the beauty of her native Kenya when she left to attend a college run by Benedi- Bened- Benedictine nuns
Yeah?
in America, far, far from her home. Then she studied biology, the science of living things. It was an inspiring time for Wangari. The students in America in those years dreamed of making the world better. The nuns, too, taught Wangari to think not just of herself but the world beyond herself.
Okay. Um, Look first at the photo here on this page before we discuss this paragraph. Right? How does
She's
the
watching
author?
the tree.
Yeah, she's looking up at the tree. And how does the artist or the illustrator of this text? Okay, please guys keep your mics off if you are talking to somebody next to you. So the artist here or the illustrator here show that nature is sacred to
Yes.
this girl? Yes?
Sorry, miss.
Miss Reem
It's
is
okay.
talking.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
miss.
It's okay, Reem. Um, so, yes, Reem?
Okay, Miss. Okay.
The author,
Okay, Miss.
okay, Reem. The illustrator here shows,
بقول يا Miss. Okay, okay.
Reem, I'm explaining. I'm not telling you anything. The illustrator here um, is showing how the author, or sorry, how Wangari loves nature. She is looking here up at the tree. The tree is much larger than her. Okay, and her face is upturned toward the tree with a look of appreciation. Okay, the illustration has a lot of green, which is a color found all over nature. Okay, so we know that when Gary, as Yassine Sadat just read, she left Kenya to study biology at an American college, and these nuns who were at her college were the ones who influenced her and inspired her to try to make the world a better place. Okay, um, Yassine Douini.
How courageously she returned to Kenya, how full of hope and of all that had she had learned. She had been away for 5 years, only 5 years, but they might have been 20. So changed was the landscape of Kenya.
Okay, so here the author uses exaggeration, right, to bring attention to a point. She says that she had been away for 5 years, but they might have been 20. This is to demonstrate just how much the land in Kenya had changed when she returned. Okay, continue, Yassine.
Okay. Wangari found the fig tree cut down, the little stream dried up, and no trace of frogs, tadpoles, or silvery
Yeah,
beads of eggs. Where once there had been little farms growing what each family needed to live on a large plantations growing tea for export. Now almost all the farms were growing crops to sell. Wangari noticed that the people no longer grew what they ate, but bought food from stores. The store food was expensive, and the little they could afford was not as good for them as what they had grown themselves, so the children, even grown-ups, were
we're weaker.
weaker and often sickly.
Okay. So here, remember, guys, what the landscape was. The landscape is what you see if you are looking if you are looking out. It is a large stretch of land that is filled with mountains, filled with rivers, filled with different landforms. Okay, yeah, different landforms. Okay, and plantations we said means large farms,
Large planting areas.
large planting areas, large farms. That's right. And export, this is growing tea for export. If they export tea, this means that they sell it to another
Give
country
it
or they trade it with another country. Okay. Um, so people had forgotten to care for the land. This is what she discovers when she comes back. The land became weak, and this made people's lives harder. All right. Here we have many cause and effect words. We have um, like since, because. These are what we're going to see throughout the text today, because there's a lot of cause and effect throughout. Okay, and Tanahi, would you like to read next?
Yes, sure. She saw that where once there had been wooded hills with grazing cows and goats, now the land was almost treeless, the wood gone. So many trees had been cut down to clear the way for more farms that women and children had to walk further and further in search of firewood to heat a pot or warm the house. Sometimes they walked for hours before they found a tree or bush to cut down. There were fewer and fewer trees each one they cut, and much of the land was as bare as a desert.
All right, continue. Without trees, because it's very small. Continue.
Without trees, there were no roots to hold soils in place. Without trees, there was no shade. The rich topsoil dried to dust, and the wind blew it away. Rain washed the loose earth into the once clear stream and river, dirtying them with salt.
All right. Thank you. So, how has Kenya changed since she left? Kenya has become lifeless. Okay, dry. The fig tree and the farms, they're all gone. The stream where she once
Yes.
collected the frog eggs, the stream is now dirty, um, and it is dry. The land is treeless. Wind has blown away the topsoil. It dirtied the
Doesn't
streams
have
and the
to.
rivers, right? Okay, so it has
Yes.
changed completely. Aysel, can you read on the next page?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes. We have we have no clean drinking water. The women of the countryside complained. No firewood to cook with. Our goats and cows have nothing to graze on, so they make little milk. Our children are hungry, and we are poorer than before.
Continue. Continue because there's not many people are volunteering. So those who would like to, those who have raised their hands to read, you can finish reading. Aysel, continue.
Wangari saw that the people who had once honored fig trees and now cut them fig trees and now cut them down had forgotten to care for the land that fed them. Now the land, weak and suffered, could no longer take care of the people, and their lives became harder than ever. The women blamed others, and they blamed the government. But Wangari was not one to complain. She wanted to do something. Think of what we ourselves are doing. She argued
She
the
urged
woman,
the women.
urged the woman. We are cutting down the trees of Kenya. When we see that we are part of the problem, she said we can become part of the solution. She had a simple and a big idea. Why not plant trees? She asked the woman.
Okay, thank you, Isa. So here they said she says that these people who are cutting down the trees had forgotten to care for the land that fed them. Okay, and now the lives of everyone are hard because they do not have enough trees. They do not have a way to take care of themselves. Right? There's a lack of natural resources. We see. Let's see how they're going to fix this. She says, why not plant trees? Okay, any more volunteers? Amr, would you like to read?
Yes, miss.
Miss, Can I read about after Amr?
Sure, Reem, you can read after.
Miss from
Read on
it
the next
wasn't
page.
easy.
No, from she. She showed.
Oh yes. She showed them how to collect tree.
Can you see? I'll zoom for you. Is that better?
Yes. She showed them how to collect tree seeds from the trees that remained. She taught them to prepare the soil, mixing it with manure. She showed them how to wet how that soil, press a hole in it with a stick, and carefully insert a seed. Most of all, she taught them to most of all she taught them
Is that better?
to
To tend.
tend the growing seedling as if they were babies, watering them twice a day to make sure they grow strong.
Okay. Continue reading, Amr. You can continue.
It wasn't easy. Water was always hard to come by. Often the woman had to dig a deep hole by hand and climb into it to haul heavy buck- bucketfuls of water up over their heads and back out of the hole. An early nursery in Wanjari's backyard failed. Almost all the seedlings died, but Wanjari was not one to give up, and she showed others how not to give up.
Many of the women. Finish it, dear.
Many, many of the women could not read or write. They were mothers and farmers, and no one took them seriously.
Okay. Thank you, Amr. So there was a lack of natural resources in Kenya at the time. They didn't have trees, grass, and they didn't have water. So they said, as a solution, they're going to gather seeds and prepare the soil, plant and tend the seeds, and dig holes to find water. Okay, but this was very difficult because these women were only mothers and farmers. No one took them seriously when they tried to encourage everyone to help. Okay. Um, it says that the biggest problem in growing the trees was that they could not find water. Water was very difficult to find. Okay. Um,
Can
yes.
I read?
Reem asked to read next. So Reem, you can read, and then this is Aday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Reem, you can read, and then Aday. Don't know where she went. Are you there? Okay, Aday, go ahead.
But they did not need schooling to plant trees. They did not have to wait for the government to help them. They could begin to change their own lives. All
It.
this was
I
heavy
zoom for you.
work. Yes,
Go ahead. All this was
but
heavy work.
all this was, but the woman looked proud. Slowly, all around them, they could begin to see the fruit of the work of their hand. The woods were growing up again. Now, then they cut down a tree they planted two in its place. Their families were healthier, eating from the fruit trees they had planted and from the vegetable plots, filled again with the yummy cassava, begun peas, and through the hump
Sorghum that grew so well.
that grew so well. They had to work to do, and the work brought them together, as one like the trees growing together on the newly wooded hills. The men saw that their wives, mothers, and daughters were doing and admired them and even joined in.
Okay, so why did people change their, or why did the men specifically change their attitudes about the women's work? You know, before, guys, nobody took women seriously because they were not educated. They did not go to school like the men did, right? But when we reread, we find out that the men changed their attitudes because they saw evidence of the women's success. They saw that they were able to grow the trees and grow the gardens, and that this was going to have a positive effect on the country. So here, see the women planting. Do you see them? See them planting the trees. There's even a man here has come to help. Okay, but it is the women who started this initiative. Okay, next, Reem, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, Reem, go ahead.
أنا هو
Sorry, Reem, 1 second. What happened?
بس هو أنت ممكن
Speak to me in English, Reem, not Arabic. Zoom?
مش همس. Okay, okay. What?
Is that better?
Oh, yes. Hungary gave seedings to the schools and taught the children how to make their own nurseries. She gave seedlings to inmates of versions of even soldiers. You hold your gun, she told the soldiers, was that are you protecting? The whole country is disappearing with the wind and water. You should hold the gun in your right hand and three seedling in your left. That's when you become a good soldier.
Okay, thank you, Reem. So here, um, they decided to give seedlings to school children and teach them how to make their own nurseries. Also, give seedlings to prisoners and soldiers. Okay, um, what does the author mean when she says you hold your gun, but what are you protecting? Here, Wangari is, sorry, not the author, Wangari, when she says this, because she told them, you hold your gun, but what are you protecting? She means that if the people of Kenya don't take care of their land, there might not be any usable land left, and the people will have to leave. If there's no land and the people have to leave, there will be nothing to protect. Okay, this is like what she said before. Now, she said the land is weak and suffering and could no longer take care of the people. So she gave the seedlings to everyone. Okay, see all of these people? See all of them lined up, ready to plant trees? All right, and so in the 30 years since Wangari began her movement, tree by tree, person by person, 30 million trees have been planted in Kenya, and the planting has not stopped. See? When the soil is exposed, Wangari tells us, it is crying out for help. It is naked and needs to be clothed in its dress. That is the nature of the land. It needs color. It needs its cloth of green.
Needs green.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, guys. It was a very, very short text, right? We finished it in
Yeah.
one session. Okay. So here let's see how did she get all of these people to join her movement? Look at all of the people who are planting the trees. See them? You can see them on both pages. Okay. And how did she get these people to plant the trees? She told them, or she modeled for them how to plant them. She demonstrated the success. She taught others how to follow her example. So let's go back to the essential question at the top. Here. Oh, here. Okay. What impact do our actions have on our world? How can you guys answer this question now after reading the text? What impact do we have on the world, or what impact did she have on the world? Can anybody tell me what they think? What impact did she have on the world? Raise your hand, guys, if you'd like to answer. I'm lowering your hands now. Raise your hand if you have an answer. Yes, Tanahi.
She changed the world from like it was gonna be just dust and sand and it would be so bad. She made it
Okay.
nature again, like old.
So she demonstrated that each action, even if it is small, that one person performs,
May have a big effect.
can have an effect on the environment. That's right. So the people of Kenya, they hurt their own land by cutting down the trees, and then this led to a shortage of natural resources. They didn't have trees, they didn't have water, they didn't
A
have
small act can make a big
anything.
effect.
That's right. So then Wangari, this girl, she had an idea to reverse this impact on the land by motivating people to replant trees and to make the land green once again. Right? Okay, guys, so we're going to end the meeting now. We're going to join again after the break. Okay? Does anybody have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, guys. We'll join again at 10:30 after the break time. Okay?
What
Bye.
when
We're
we
going
join?
we're going to join at 10:30, team.
10:30. Oh, okay,
Okay,
miss.
because there's a break.
Okay, يا حبيبي. miss. Okay.
Okay. All right, bye guys.